2 more minutes from now, I'll just start. It would be rude to give a pause between my introduction and my session, right? So, a couple of things. But I really don't want to start because if somebody is really on time, I don't want to take opportunity from him. So we'll wait for a couple of minutes, but I'll tell you something more about me. When I gave my introduction, I don't know what I was thinking. I gave my introduction about 3 books and all this. You know what happened actually? I'm no more an author of 3 books. Since I was selected for GIDS to spec, until today, I have 6 more books in between. So I'm actually author 9 books. And every time I think when I'm introductions here, I'm going to tell them to say 9, but I keep on forgetting. No, it's not you, it's I keep on forgetting too. So I wrote 9 books. In how many months? 14 months. What was the experience? I slept for only 3 hours every night. This is hard. Each book, some of my books are Joseph Rose books, if you've seen it. Have you seen it? Each book is a 600 page in it. Writing 600 pages is so hard. Just go home and think you're going to type ABCD. Just think ABCD. Type ABCD in whole page and see how long it takes. Just ABCD. Alphabets. And then you will understand what it takes, like 600 page. Technical. SQL Server. But every minute was worth it because when the book comes, you feel like a new baby is born. And the happiness is tremendous. Anyway, that's all about books. Though I'm not here to talk about my books, but I just thought, because it was part of introduction, I'll tell you. I think you're right on the time, you're really. Which watch I should follow now? I have 6 watches. What? 5 minutes behind. So, I can start with early, but I can't finish early. Right? So, okay. Every time we talk about performance, what do we talk? Okay, hold on, a couple of questions. I see some of the familiar faces. How many of you attended my session before today? All of you. How many of you there even yesterday? Awesome. The new guys, why didn't you come on first session before one? Yeah, so that's the reason you come here. Well, my question is that why didn't you choose other one? That was the question. I understand because you don't care about SQL Server.
That was more priority.
Excellent. That was more priority. I hope you learned something in that one. So let's see what we learned in this one. Performance. So thank you for the guys who came in particularly yesterday 3 hours, today 1 hour. This is some of the people attending the 4th hour. And you may wonder that what we keep on talking about in terms of performance, that is so new every time. So many times what happens when we go, our boss comes, right? Boss comes and asks your performance is low. Our reaction is to them is that create index or do that. Some of the usual answers. But really, can we do really something? This is the question. So I was a developer and I am still a developer. I develop code every single day. I write, I go home and I do things. So somebody I tried to call me and said, hey, my performance is slow, and I answered them this way. I said, look, SQL Server is big, performance tuning is not so simple, I need to go, and then he said, hold on, Pinal. Can you ever do something in 60 seconds? Can you just, instead of telling me, teaching me, educating me, just do something one for once in 60 seconds and prove you are worth it? Should I be taking this question as offending or should I just prove myself? I have proven. I decided to prove myself. And while proving myself, I come up with these 3-4 tricks which I can just implement in a SQL Server in 60 seconds. And it works. It improves the performance tremendously. So I just thought, why not I start sharing with everybody? That's a little things when you walk out, check in your production server, and see you can do something with it. How about that, right? Okay. So for Gits, with GIDS, I decided to do 3 different experiments. The earlier session was mix of slide and demo. As an interesting storyline, a movie storyline, we made a slide. This session I have around 100 slides. The one after this one, I have no slides. How does that sound? I want to see which one works. So we'll start with a lot of slides and a lot of demos, okay? Let's start with that. So, this is Pinal the way. This is what happens. Many times what happens is that we don't go and try to fix something up. We just believe things are like that, we just believe that what we did is right. And we are so much into it that we protect ourselves. We start arguing for ourselves. We just believe that what we did is right. One of the stories which I've been telling in every single session is that I every day still get email. While I was checking my phone in afternoon, I got that email saying, why my SQL server is not using the correct index. I just get annoyed. Every time I see now start, I still answer that question, but it annoys me. I have a filter on it. It goes in one box, and I answer all of them together. Because when we think what we have done is right, it's not always right sometimes. So that's the same point. There is a last line. I notice now. So how many of you believe in this one? Only 2 guys? 3? 4? Hey, this is not even talking both ways. I'm not only going to talk, so you guys have to raise your hands. Why don't you guys fix this one? I mean, what is the philosophy behind this one?
It's working here.
Why?
Reliability, I guess, but don't make something worse. But I don't believe.
No, I agree. It's a good. You don't have to protect yourself. I think. So here is the way. I hear you out. So what you are saying is that reliability. Like because we did something, it's working. Let's not touch it because if we touch it, and if we make a mistake, right? That's a simple logic.
Right. But if what we can try right?
But what happens if you make a mistake?
There should be some alternate, right? No, there's
No, but if you make a mistake, then
there's no thing.
but then damage is done. If you delete something without where close, see, this kind of argument when I receive it, now I hate that person. Like, come on man, let me try on a development. I'm not going to try on a production server. The first argument I ever received was that, well, if you do something wrong on a development server, my old developer will be not able to work. So, I said create a POC on your local box first. I said, okay, you take 3 VPCs, and you try to do things like that, then it never happens. Oh, so many people are coming suddenly. Where are the guys coming from? Lunch? Lunch was heavy? So the amount of the time which we used to take a 1 minute, now it's taking 2 minutes. All these gulab jamuns. How many? Who ate the maximum number of gulab jamun? Who can beat me? I ate how many? I don't know. Who ate more than one? True? True? You guys don't know. Change the shirt. I have 3 shirts. I got 4. Every time wear a different shirt and they give you. You know what they complain? I took 4 actually. Seriously, not kidding. He put a 1 and I said, look at me. And he gave me 2 more. Coming back to this one, so don't fix something which we don't break it. So I have to show you something that which are the things you can do without thinking about breaking things. You want to do it. You just want to try this. There are few things you just have to do it. Otherwise, build if we see like this way would never become like this way. So for a SharePoint server is one of the way we talked about it. Performance 60 seconds. The reason we don't have a SharePoint server because SharePoint server uses SQL server on the backend. But matter of the fact, any tips which I am going to show you is applicable to any application which you have in your production server. Because the tips are generic, it's regarding database, definitely it helps SharePoint server, but it helps everything else as well. Just like any other SQL thing. So, what we should be really not waiting for house to get on fire. Never. What we should do is that we should dig the well way before it. We should just not wait thinking what should we do. We should just dig a well and just make sure that fire is on. So with that, let's start with the basic. What are the most important things in terms of any computer? When you think about any server, what are the 3 most important resources? You should know this. Those people who came in earlier session, you should tell me right. CPU? Very good. Memory, CPU, and I/O. Definitely all of you guys are right. Which one of these is most important? Pick one. I know you will say that. Pick one. Why CPU? So if you have a lot of CPU but you don't have proper hard drive, will it okay? Will it be okay? Only CPU. Have a CPU. 4-core phones which we have nowadays. I don't know what we are going to do with 8-core in my phone. Seriously, what are you going to do? Are you going to drive? So what you can do with this? I can play games. Good job. 8 cores on your phone. You're going to do that. So what I'm going to do that? I'm going to buy that phone and try it out myself. 8-core phone, latest phone. Nobody wants to interested in that one? So CPU is, you think CPU is really good? Then this phone which has an 8 CPU should be able to fly a aircraft. Pick one. Besides CPU? Memory? Let's figure it out ourselves, right? Let's work together. We'll try to figure it out which one is important, we'll tune that. Okay? So let's do that. So this is a database. Okay? This database is, let's assume it's a SharePoint database. And any database uses, SharePoint uses which server? SQL Server. And SQL Server uses what? SQL Server uses files. Files to store data. Right? Where does SQL Server store data? Memory. Thank you very much. Wrong. Yes. Hard drive? Where exactly? There are two different kinds of files SQL Server has. Very true, very true. Data file and log file. MDF file and NDF file. What is NDF stand for?
Secondary.
Secondary? So, this is how SQL Server works. All the data is stored in MDF. That is called primary file. And all the log is stored in LDF file. Very correct. And there is something called NDF, which is called secondary data file. So if you have second file you add to data file, it is called NDF. What happens if you add a third file? What do we call that? ODF. MNO. PDF. No? Am I wrong?
The third one will also be NDF.
Then what do we call it? Third secondary file? Thirdary file. Second thirdary file. So what do we call that?
Partition.
It's not mirroring. Oh, that's good. That's, you made me laugh, thank you. Anyway, good. It's also secondary file. Hey, this is first secondary file, this is second secondary file, the third secondary file. The name is secondary file. It doesn't mean it's a second file. It's a good point. Okay, I'm just playing with you. Don't feel. Okay. What is PDF then? What? Like it. It's thinking same. Next time we will present it. So MDF file stores data, LDF file stores log. Log is, what is the importance of log? Why do we care about log? After the lunch session I understand, that's why I'm trying to make it more interactive. In the session before I have to tell people to just not speak.
Recovery.
Very good. Timestamps, there are definitely timestamp. It stores everything. What is everything? Transaction plan stores transactions. Yes.
Recovery.
What is there in water? It's like what is water like? And it's just like pani. Give me more. Entire history of transactions. I agree. Okay, tell me more.
Recovery.
It helps in recovery. Okay. See, when you go in interview, how do you answer? Answer me like that. Think I'm the guy who's going to fail you. So sorry, I'm going to give you a job. Same thing. Most of the time, they fail us. They feel superhero and they look at us and this. I was failed because I told one guy in my interview that cluster index is not stored physically. He failed me. No, seriously, they are not stored. Anyway, second story then. If you have attended yesterday's session, Vinod demonstrated that. Coming to point, say transaction. Okay, if somebody asks me what is LDF file is for, do you know what I will answer? I'll say LDF file stores every single history of what happened to the SQL Server database in terms of transaction, and which you take it, and every single insert, update, delete, as well as all the DML operations are stored in log. LDF file in terms of log, which we can use to recover our database in case of the disaster. Right? That's answer. I covered everything. And then that guy will just look at us. Said, how do I fail you now? He'll find another question which you don't know. Correct? So log file is for recovery. Can we read log file? How? Are you able to successfully read after 2005? Log file? Is there any tool available after 2005? There is one tool of 2000 available on internet floating. So we're talking about that. Year 2000 is like 13 years ago. I was not even born then. No, I was very young. I was in the 6th standard. Anyway, so log. Can you read a log? Can log help in performance? How? What is it? Based on log? Why? We don't there is a lot of confusion, so let me clarify a few things here. Why I ask you question? Because I want to understand that log does not help. Log is one of the dead thing in one way because you just go and write everything what happened in your MDF file. Technically, log doesn't help your performance. It is just a log, man. Think about this way. How many people who walked in? Okay, think about this way. Does the registration guy of GIDS helps us anyway to improve our sessions? Just think about it. They are great people. We have to go by them. Unless you walk on a back door. Like I always do. Because I somehow put it somewhere. So that's the point. Think about it. Those guys are logging everything, right? But they're not helping performance of the sessions. Like the guy who's collecting the food coupon, how does it matter? But he has to collect it because he needs to count. Otherwise, the different kind of logistic issue happen. So it's very important task we are doing, but we don't believe there is any really contribution of the guy who's collecting food coupon in our life. Something like that. So log is like that. Log, you go and write it. It just writes it. We technically cannot read it. It does not help in a performance in terms of it. Like when we run a simple select statement or any insert or delete, if we write it, at that time, SQL Server is not going to go and read anything from the log. It's not going to say, hey log, I have done something before. Can you give me some intelligence? No. It just thinks which is, if you do activity, it's going to log it. That's it. Okay? That's it. And I heard a word about truncating the log. Actually, there should be no need of truncating a log if you are taking backup. You only need to truncate a log if you believe that you don't need a log. And if you don't need a log, which means if disaster happens, you don't care about yourself. There should.
Data is too huge. The insertions are happening.
You take a backup. Backup of the log file. In fact, this does the same thing as truncating. Not saying it actually does better and more thing, but this is not a conversation here. You have to take a backup. If you do insert, large insert happen, your log file become big, and if you truncate the log file, your server crashes. That's it, your server crashed. What you can do? Nothing, or restore to last full backup. So truncating will just create a disaster scenario. Means you support disaster of your server. Something like that. I'm not pointing you, I'm just saying overall. Truncating means you support disaster. You don't need technically truncating. You just take backup. It does the same thing. It clears out ROM and it reuse the space which you emptied out. How about that?
But
Yes.
what about minute by minute? So would backup be able to get you to the exact minute of the disaster?
If your log, yes.
That's why where the logs would come in.
Yes. Yes, minute by minute, forget second, millisecond, it will get you in millisecond. If your log. Yes. Disaster recovery, you're right. Anyway, coming back to the point. Let's talk about performance. This is not good thing in one way. Where is your data stored? In MDF or NDF? Only reason, yeah, both MDF and NDF. N. This one, personal check. Yeah, it's funny how we say M and N, but I'm not here to talk about that. So, if you live in Bangalore, you know how confusing it gets sometimes. M and N. I always say M is a married, N is a married. So it's easy to understand. That joke. Nobody get it. Sleeping or love jumping. Seriously. Coming back. I think I need to make it more boring. I try to make you guys laugh and you guys are not laughing. To think, what is this guy saying? So what does MDF contains? MDF contains almost everything like table, index, store, procedure, view, logs, figures, login, constraints, security, and system database. And NDF contains just rollback information. That's it. Let me see puzzle now. What is more important? Don't say both, pick one. Pick one.
MDF.
How many for MDF and NDF? First one. How many are there for LDF? So you can just live with only LDF? I give you LDF only, you live with it? Can I give you only MDF and can you live with it?
Yes.
How? So let me answer you this question also. So both are actually important, but I'm not asking you both. I'm asking you only one, right? So we need to understand what is more important. Technically for me, MDF and NDF is more important because it helps my data. My data is stored there, right? When I do select star, it goes to MDF and NDF, not to LDF. LDF is just only useful in case of recovery. So most of the time, my data is going to be stored in MDF and NDF. If you are only given MDF and NDF, you can regenerate the log file too. And you can restore your database. But if you only have LDF file, you can't do anything with it. Right? Don't look at me like that. I didn't invent this. When the product was invented, I was really not born. So, I'm giving you now two simple instructions. We are going to do two scenarios. Okay? First, we are going to see a single disk and I'm going to put both of them. And question is that, what is more important for performance? MDF or LDF? Now, let's assume, I know it's after lunch session, you guys are a little tired, but I want you guys to do a little bit of exercise. If I have MDF and LDF, so one of the best practices is keep them separate. Keep them separate on a different drive. That is the best practices I keep on hearing. And that's right. Why? If you keep both of them in a single drive, what will happen? Say one person, any person. Raise the hand, I'll ask you. No. Yes, sir. The guy who's behind camera. Oh, he's a cameraman, sorry. Oh, you are. Okay. Yeah.
If the drive crashes, you lost all the data. If single
Yes,
drive.
very correct. That's one of the best practice also. And I think you must be manager or something. You're right. Very good. Or you have. That's important. It's a disaster recovery part. In terms of performance, think about this way. You have single drive, right? And if you have both of them in the same one, if you're going to read it, you're going to read it from the same place. It's not going to help your performance because your drive will be busy. Your drive has a fixed throughput. Correct. Hey, think about this way. If you have two parallel things you can do, right? If there is a log and there is an MDF LDF, if you can do two operations parallelly, then why don't we do that? Why SQL Server is reading writing data from this drive, somebody can go some other head and can update things in another drive, right? Two separate operations on two separate drive will improve performance. If you don't believe me, do this thing. Go on your computer, copy a drive for one big file from same folder to another folder on the same drive and now copy to another drive. You will see big performance difference. Two different heads. So it's good idea to keep them separate, but my problem is different here. My problem is I have two disks with the same speed, then I have no problem. But what happens if I have two disks with two different speeds? One is faster and one is slower. Here I have a problem. If I have a single drive, then I can't do anything. But if I have two drives, then I will keep one on a fast. If both has the same speed, I will keep either. I don't care. But if I have two different speed drives, which one I will keep on faster and which one I will keep it on slower? Great answer. Once the photographer takes photo, I'll move. Yes. I was giving him a course. Kamlesh, when you have time. My personal photograph I also get in. Last time he took my camera, I never returned. Last time I gave it to a random guy and he never returned. Only thing is that when I went on a Facebook and Twitter and I said, dude, I don't care about camera, just give me my photo, and he did send me photos. Then I decided that now onwards I'm going to get my own photographer from my home. So, that's why. So, yeah, coming back to the point, is that if I have two different drives, where will I keep MDF and LDF? Okay, who will go on a faster drive? MDF?
Yes.
LDF? Only one guy. Seems like you didn't like gulab jamuns. Ice cream was hot. Gulab jamun was probably cold. Only one guy. Anybody else want to join in? No. So what I will do, because all of you are right now. The MDS is most important, right? Because we retrieve data from there and we insert the data in it. It has to be faster. It has to be faster, right? Correct?
Yes.
Let's prove it. Even though I agree with you, but I prepared a demo for it. If I prepare a demo for it, and if I don't show you demo, then I will have extra time. So I'll show you demo of the same thing which we all agree. Remember what we agree, okay? I don't want you guys to change your mind afterwards. So let's do, I'm going to do 2 tests. So one is slow drive. Before I came in, I did a test myself. This is my slow drive, USB drive. Agreed? This is slow, and my computer has SSD, super fast. So I measured the performance, and you can see my SSD speed is 437 megabyte per second, and my USB performance is 21 Mbps. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to put something here. What I will put? MDF. And we will do inside of the delete and see performance. And we will prove that we are right. Sometimes it's good to see that we are right. Which city is this? No idea. Who said? Some couple of people said.
Malaysia.
Russia?
Malaysia.
Malaysia? Singapore? Asia, you're right. Singapore. It is Singapore. So, let's do a small demo together. I'm going to duplicate my screen so you guys can see it. Fun when I get this kind of. So, I'm going to do this test, okay? First, I will put data on a faster drive, log on a faster. Second, I will put data on a faster and log on a slower. And third, I'm going to put data on a slower and log on a faster. And we'll do the insert and select, correct? And we'll measure the performance. And then we'll agree that what we see is right. How many of you think that will happen? What you guys just say, based on the session you have attended today. Okay. See that? So, this drive I'm plugging in, putting in my computer. This is not the drive which shows up here. Yeah. What is the drive later? Wow, you guys are smart. Last time somebody told me to move this. This was here only. Good job. So, I'm creating MDF on a C drive and MDF on CL is G. So I need to now remove. I want to one day know that how every time I insert this thing, every time I get a different drive name. So every time I will replace. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that, you guys see what I'm doing right now, or do you want me to explain quickly? First, I'm putting everything on a C drive. Second time, I'm going to put data on a C drive and log on E drive, which is slow. And then I will reverse it. Fine? So I'm just creating it. It will take some time, but that's okay to us, because why it is going to take some time? Because one of my drive is super slow. Super slow. I can't even describe. And this is the simple insert which we are going to do. I'm going to insert a 1 million row into this table. Is it 1 million? Yes? How many think it's 1 million? It's a 1 lakh, yes, 100,000. So now I created the different databases. You guys want to see the database? Here it is. You see the database, data on faster drive, data on slow, I created. Now I will create, this is single file, okay? Both are on a C drive. I'll create and insert 100,000 rows here. And let's measure, okay, first see what data we are going to get. This is the data which we are going to get. Okay, random data. How long it took to get us data? Less than 1 second, excellent answer. So I'm inserting the data. Can the last guy can see it? No? Now?
Yes.
Good job. Why didn't you tell me that? You can see me, right? I know. I'm also zoomed in, as I said. Did I insert it or not? Not yet, right? Did I? Inserted?
Yes.
No. Did I?
Inserted.
Insert to 0 second, right? Or 1 second. For a second, we'll just put 1. Now, let's do one more test where data is on fast drive. How long it should take? Data is still fast drive, okay? Let's see. And query is done. Query should be done. Now, it will finish in a second. It's just about to finish. And it will be finished as soon as I say it. And it should be done now. So it's done now. 20, okay. As I said, it's done. 24 seconds. And it's because why? Data is on fast drive. Now let me do another test. Data is on slow drive. Now the fun begins. You guys are in for treat. Think about this way. Just moving your log file to slow drive, what you have seen. Now if I move the data on a slow drive, I don't have to speak for the rest of my session. We can still count all these minutes. Let's see that. It's fun. It's really fun. I like this kind of demos because let's see the data one more time. This is the data which I'm talking about. How long it took to retrieve? 0. Let me insert it. Okay. Start counting with me. I want you to count. Okay. We'll start counting because I don't want to make mistake. So we see it will take 1, 2. So data is on a slow drive. Took. So I would not like to put 0. That's why I will put 1. Okay. Fine. So this is something as we discussed and agreed, right? No. Or different? Different. Why do you guys think otherwise? What you were just telling me. What was the reason of the thing which you were telling me? As I know, we are all professionals, we are logical people, we are developers. We just don't say because we just feel like it. You said that, all of you said except the one guy, thank you, or except him, everybody else were like, they can put data on fast drive because it's going to give us better performance. I've seen what kind of performance you're getting on your server. Why? What made you say that? It's okay, you all as you say. Nothing wrong to say things. Because when you walk out, you know what is right. Important is not what you know before. Important is what you know now. And don't feel bad. I'm not here to make you feel anything. It's just learning experience. Something, the way I present this question, we remember, we don't forget. This demo you will not forget. I promise you. But you'll forget many sessions. Anybody? Yes, please try, sir.
I thought the data was going to be heavier than the logs.
Yes.
The size.
Very good point. So good answer. No, that sums it up. That is interesting way of saying it, and that's true also. But there is one more thing. I'll show you in a second why this had happened. But I need to do one more test before that, which is select. Let's do select test. Do you guys want to do that with me? I want to do select test. So first single, right? So where both of them are on the same drive. How long it take to retrieve data? Good job. So I'll write it down here. Now, here is the fun thing begins. I want you guys to know it. Data on fast drive. How long it will take? Now the fun thing begins. Remember, this is a lot of data, okay? Data on slow drive. Anybody want to guess?
It will take more time.
More time? How many with me more time? Greater than 1 second?
Yes.
That's the answer. Greater than few seconds? Awesome. Done. I really think it will be or slower. I would never think this way. Think about this way. All the time data was coming in less than 1 second, right? It will still come less than 1 second. What made you think it is going to take more time?
Read is slow.
Logical answer.
Read is slower.
What is it?
Read is slower.
Yes, so I agree. But you guys all, many of you told me, right, it will be slower. Data on a slow drive, which means it will get slow. So have you ever seen slow Mercedes? No matter how slow it is, it's going to run faster than your Maruti. I think we need to think logically. We're developers. We don't want to answer like this way. I want you guys to think with me, play with me, understand with me. All the answer I already gave you. What do you think? How big is this table? How big is this table? What do you guys think? It says 100,000 row, but it doesn't mean what is the size MB. Okay, think about this way. Where are we getting data from? Drive. We were to talk about drive throughput. Correct? We are engineers. We don't talk like that way. Let's talk drive throughput. What is this drive throughput? 21 MB. Right? Mbps? 21 Mbps? Or in worst case scenario, 5 Mbps? Worst case scenario? This one? How big is my table? Table is 100,000 row. I understand, but the table size is not big if you look at this one. 400, 100 character, 100 bar, 100 bar. So it's very small. So if I go on my table, okay, size of the table, when I right click over it, size of my table is, what is it? Less than 4 MB? What is my worst case scenario throughput? Now you tell me, why would it take more than 1 second? Reason? So point here is that data which I am retrieving is much lower than throughput per second. It has to retrieve in less than 1 second. Correct? I mean, is it logical answer? Does it convince you, all of you?
Yes.
Do you talk like that in your office? Nobody wants to sit with me in my office. I don't know why. So, are you guys happy then? Do any question? I have one question to ask you if you have no question to me.
But write speed is very slow.
Yes, why? Exactly. That was my question. Anybody want to answer this question? Except the gentleman who got it right. Except him, anybody want to try now? Exactly. You are right. But what do you mean by I/O? Data which I was inserting was saying in all the case, right? The same 1000 row. Then think about this way. Think with me. If your throughput is more than 4 Mbps, right? Your data is less than 4 MB, then your insert should still take less than 1 second, which it took in other case.
The log file size is more than 4 MB.
Log file will be more than 4 MB? That's a good guess. What do you think is the log file size? Let's see that. How big is the log? MB? Very good answer, sir. I am impressed. That's how we logical we engineers think. 31 MB. So still think about this. What was my throughput? 4 Mbps? 32 MB. How long it should take? How long it took? Actually took? Okay, now fill in the blanks. I agree with the 8-second part. Let's make it 10 seconds. Give me another 14, 15. Where did that come from?
It would be individual rights,
Are you
not
operations?
one right.
Great way of saying it. But it's what is it? No, sir. No. The RAM speed is same in all the cases. Right now I didn't change system. So I'm with you, but I didn't change the system. RAM speed is same. So here is the answer. Not making it more complex. What you said is right, sir, but that was true. Individual right in all 3 cases, correct? You are right. What I'm saying is that you are right that it's writing individual, not in bulk. But it was anyway writing the same way in all 3 cases.
No, the log file was in the slowed line in only one case.
Yes.
We are writing in and creating logs.
Right, but what I'm saying is that, but it was still writing slow, so it should take 8 seconds there.
It's both writing and reading.
No, sir. Okay, there is something more to it. And then somebody also said it's about I/O. It's about I/O. I/O is not only about throughput. It's how you write it. Think about this way. If I come here and if I have 20 people, I will tell one person sits here, second person second line, third person in third line. You guys start sitting like that. And then once you're done with the last guy, everybody come here and start filling the second row, second column. That will be slow, right? Because my I/O pattern is like go straight vertical. But if I'm smart, I'm going to say, hey, why don't you guys just start doing it? You never have to come back. It's I/O pattern. I/O pattern is key too. And I already give that answer too. Let me show you. So MDF is random access pattern and LDF is sequential. What it means is that when one guy is over, second guy has to wait behind it. So one at a time. Because of that, no matter how big is your throughput is, understand, your throughput is 4 Mbps, but you want to write everything at a speed of 4K only. Because first transaction is 4K, once that is over, second transaction will go and write. Which means no matter how big is your throughput, your writing pattern is sequential. You see that? That is why it does not matter in your throughput. That's why it's important to put LDF for a faster drive. Because you want your 4K chunks or 8K chunks or 12K chunks to run faster. With me? Got it or not got it? Okay, think about this way. If there is a door is there, 4 people are coming together at a time, your speed will be faster. But your door's capacity is still 4 guys, but only 1 guy is coming at a time. So no matter how big your door is, if 1 guy is only going to come, your line or queue is going to take a longer time to finish. Yes? That's the answer. That's what happened here. That's why it's very, very important to put your log on a faster drive. In an industry, when I go performance tuning and I see people put log on a slowest drive. People sometimes use SSD drive for their MDF, and for log they use this external USB drive. It's a log. I truncate it. I don't use it. I delete it. It's a log. I keep it in a simple recovery mode. The logic which I demonstrate to you is true in a simple recovery mode as well as full recovery mode. No matter what recovery mode. This is true always. Come up with any condition after the session you will come up. But in my case is this, in my case is that. Whatever is your case, this is true always. Put your case and just think this is true. Is it in your system like this way? Is your system like this? Have you set up? Have you ever checked? Have you ever played with throughput? Do you discuss? I think you need to go back and do it. If you have a performance problem in any system, particularly with SharePoint. And why with the SharePoint? Because what happens with SharePoint is that SharePoint, most of the people do default installation. And that's it. They don't think about this. This is not my problem. This becomes your problem once your system is slower. Any questions? No? Good job. I think I explained well. So there are a few best practices. You can see over here. You can separate them. Also make sure you should not put data on the system partition. Have a format with the same. Use 810. Also include configure a instant file initialization and make sure your backup is compressed. There are every topic I can take and talk 1 hour. Someday we'll just do the SharePoint what we call tutorial. But for a moment, Let's go with one tip at a time. I have a few more tips to show still. So there are two more tips like fixed auto growth and precise database file. So let's do that. We just learned about this one, physically separate NDF, MDF, and we are going to learn about this two tip next. Okay? We still have a lot of time, plenty of time, 15 minutes. So let's see the demo. But before that, I just want you to understand a definition of block. Operation that is blocked is the one which waits for same event like completion of another operation. Clear? Which city is this? Exactly. China, sir. Why do you think when we traffic it's always Bangalore? What? It's all of us everywhere? Green is our color. No. So how many of you have ever created database yourself? Have you ever created database? Very good. How do you create database? Do you create database in database creates itself? Man, I'm speechless. Why you thought about that one? I should have said that. Okay, good job, man. You guys are smart. So, you guys use advanced techniques. I'm not familiar with it. Like this way, right? And then you just go, my system flows table. My system, you can just say this is slow DB. You should create like this way. So people know that this is going to be slow. Always. Write down your name also behind it, like if your name is Pinal. So people know that you created this database and will remain slow when you create like that. And then you hit OK. Okay. The database created. It will be slow forever now. What? Yeah, we can specify that too. But there are a couple of things we do. But it's not what we do, it's what we don't do is the problem. I'll show you that part. So I'm just going to create database that way, just like this way. Okay? I'm going to create on my USB drive. Only reason is that if I create on my SSD, it's going to work fast because this is not a real system. So I'll just assume that USB is my real hard drive. Do you ever create hard drive on your USB? No? Why? You think it's not reliable? But it takes a lot of time to create. My USB takes a lot of time to create. Correct. So I created a database, and now I'm going to create a table in it, my database, which I call default DB. Now I'm going to insert 1 million row in it, or how many? 100,000. 1 lakh row I'm going to insert it. Please, what's the time? Okay? How long it takes? I'm not saying what's the time there. Here. As soon as I say what's the time, everybody is looking on the right side. So how long it's going to take? I think it's going to take a lot of time because this is a lot of data which is being inserted. So what I'm trying to prove over here is very simple thing. I just created a database and I'm trying to insert the data in my table. Please let me know when the query is done. So I'm inserting all the data in my database, and that's normal thing, correct? You create your database and you start using that. But the problem is that, is it optimal thing to do? What are the more things you can do when you create database? It takes a 1 second to do what I'm going to show you this. When you create a database, there's a 1 setting you need to touch. That will just change how you do the things. Okay? How long will that thing will run? 1 minute is 30 seconds. So I will show you another way. Okay? What I will start explaining you, and then we will get back to this one. So this is how I create my database. Previous one only had these two things, right? Here, correct? But here I also specify two different parameters. The parameters are, one is default size, and second one is file growth. These two are two very, very crucial parameters we just don't touch because we want to save time. where we create database. Say this is still executed. You know where we can find that one in our view? Let's look at this one. Let's create new database just for fun. Do you see this one? Initial size. Most of the time people just leave it to whatever size it is. Because why? You should actually give here a larger value. And there is a second value which is auto growth. The next one. Current one says 1 MB growth. You see the 1 MB growth? So what it means here is, I will explain you in a second. Man, this query is not finishing. You see that? You just want me to stop it? You guys take my word that it takes this long? Yeah? I'll stop it, right? But what happens the other query runs longer than this? Then my demo will fail. It's done. 2 minutes 39 seconds. Now, what I will do is that I will create a different database, second database. This one. Where I have specified initial size. And I will now create database like that way. Hi sir. Oh, it's 10 minutes. Okay. It's just showing me. So I am now creating a database, but only thing I am doing here is that I am specifying the size. Agreed? And now, after I create that, I will create the same table, and once again I will insert 100,000 row. And when we insert 100,000 row, you will see a big difference in the performance. The reason of the performance improvement is because, think about this way. Assume that I have only one person in my room. And if I've got one chair, it makes sense. But what happens if I get 2 people in that room? My room is big, my X will be, I will go and bring a second chair, correct? For that guy to sit. What happens if the 3rd person comes? What happens if the 4th person comes? And what happens if the 5th person comes? Every single time a person is going to come and I'm going to bring a chair, do you think it's going to waste my time? Right? Because then I will be never able to finish my presentation. I'm just bringing chairs. Instead of that, what I will do, I will initially give my room size to 20. So till 20 people come, I do not have to bring in chair. Okay? But what happens after 20th first person comes? When 21st comes? I will have to again get a 1 chair, 2nd chair, 3rd chair. Or I can just say, after 20, every time I will get 5 chairs. Correct? So if I get a 5 chair, then I don't have to wait. So that is what it is. When you give a larger size, large initial size, it's good for to go. And then when you give a bigger chunks like that, it will help you in terms of your growth. So it's always good idea to set these 2 settings. Do you ever care about these 2 settings? Yes? No? Have you ever touched these settings? Do you know what your server has setting? This settings? Okay, do this thing. Okay, fine, forget. No, if you've not seen it, that's fine. You want to go back and check it on your production server. Maybe these 2 settings are killing your performance. Just check it and talk to your DBA. If you're a DBA, then you know what to do. Right? So, nobody told me the query is over. So now I'm going to create a table in it. Oh, what did I mistake? I have to use the optimal CD. Now I have to create a table here. My master database has so many different tables. And now once again I am going to insert this much data. How long it took the first time to insert the data? 2 minutes 30 seconds. I will tell you that this will be little faster than that. I don't know how much, but it will be faster. You see the performance improvement? You can still do that.
Then we can only add it into the Python tab.
You can do both. Here.
Question.
And here, one second. Here is what. Or you can go into database too, but I just wanted to be simple. This question.
Yeah, one question here.
Yes.
If I now delete some data out of it, will the size of the file never go below the initial size?
Anyway, it will never go.
Will the file shrink?
File sync is a very bad operation, one should never practice over it. It will create a fragmentation, it will give you low performance, it will total your I/O, your index will be messed up, your lot of other problems will come. File sync is absolutely bad thing. You should never do it. I don't have time to express about that. There is once in a class I've done a tutorial about one day about why you should not do file sync. Maybe next GID's topic will be right now. I can talk probably 1 hour. Some people guys talk about it. Let's not talk about it, but it will not give you back. I have one more demo to show and I have 4 minutes. Do you guys want to see one more demo? Yes. One more thing? Yes. You guys know I've been showing these PowerPoint slides. How many we have covered so far? 62 out of 95. So we talked about this too. And we are not done yet. Okay? We want to see more stuff. What are we going to see? Let's play one more game. True or false? Auto create statistics and auto update statistics. Should they be true or false? Pick one only. Then why do they have option to becoming false? What does SharePoint do by default? Aha. Have you ever installed SharePoint? How many of you work with SharePoint? Awesome. Do you ever know what is the setting there? Let's see demo in a second. But before the demo, I want to show you this white paper. A white paper I cannot increase much, but I can tell you, it says very clearly Microsoft TechNet, okay? Says do not enable auto create statistics for SharePoint server. They said do not. Very first line. What would you think now? False. Yeah, because Microsoft says so. No? Let me show you a very quick demo of that. Let's prove Microsoft right. So I just do this, and I create 2 databases. One is statistics on, one is statistics off. And in one database, I will keep the statistics on. In another one, I will keep it off. Right? Right? One has a statistics on, one is off. And I want to be nice to the next presenter and don't want to take over his session. So I'll finish my session on time. Yeah, but so that's the point. I was just thank you. So do step by this next one if you want to learn more. No, but I still want to finish on time because cameramen want to go out and report. So now I created 2 databases. One is statistics off, one is on. Did I create this database table? No. Okay, no. If I created, what would have happened? Error. So now I create this index for the sake of it, and I will create a second database also. Alright, we are in the last 2 minutes, okay? What I did, I created 2 databases, one is statistics off, one is off. One is on and one is off. And now I'm going to run the same query in both of them. And we will see which query will be faster, correct? Simple test. But before that, I can insert some data in it, and data is also going to be same. Same data has been inserted. Then I will run this query with execution plan on. Can you guys tell me which query will be faster, statistics on or statistics off? How many things on? How many things off? This is lower is better, which means statistics on is better than statistics off. You see that? On is a better. 37 is less is better, and where statistics is off, it is taking more resources, and when I mouse over also, then you can see a warning. You see the warning? That your statistics is off, that's why you're getting bad performance. So what should we keep? On, right? Then why were we saying off a few seconds ago? So you mean to say they are wrong? I don't say that. Even though I don't work for them, but I don't take their side, I want to take the side of the truth. What we will do, we'll do a simple thing now. Both are correct, which means I am correct too, and so does Microsoft. What it means is that there is another white paper which says there is a rule called health analyzer rules. Health analyzer rules. So SharePoint has this service. By default, you should leave it enabled. Most of the people turn off this service because they run their own maintenance. Most of the DBA, because SharePoint is installed on a SQL Server DBA will manage the installation. They will say, yeah, SharePoint, you don't manage us. So SharePoint people will turn off this service. And SQL Server DBA, because by default installation it will be off and your performance statistics will be never on. With bad statistics, you get bad performance. So the learning here is very simple. This health analyzer rule you should left enable on your SharePoint server. If you have left turn it off, then go back and turn on your statistics. A simple thing like statistics can give you a lot of performance. Okay? So 3 tips which we have learned so far. Can you guys repeat it for me? 3 tips. LDF should be separate. LDF should be on a faster drive if possible. If you can keep both on a faster, nothing like that. So no argument there. I know after this session, few people will send me emails and why are you saying only LDF? I want to put my MDF on faster. Go put it. If you have a scenario where you do not have enough space, you have to select one, then put LDF on a faster. Second thing is that initial file size and file growth, you should keep it higher. Third, keep the statistics on because they are very, very good for a system. And all the scripts and all this thing, you can just pick it up from this script. So either you write it down. If you not write it down in the previous session, the URLs, you see the bit.lys. You see the bit.lys? Write it down from there. And if you want, you can go to the Pluralsight booth and they will give you free subscription card also, which you can use it. So take a photograph, those who are lazy. With this, thank you very, very much. We're just 16 seconds over time, but that's good enough, 60 seconds. And after 9 minutes, I'm going to present again on database worst practices. So this will, I'm sure none of you practice worst practices. So pretty much this session is not for you. You guys are all smart. But if you believe that in your organization, a guy who has no clue what he's doing, maybe you want to come here and see what he's doing. And then you can go back and teach him. After 9 minutes, you are here. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you.